You probably know someone like this. A guy full of ideas, grand ideas, big dreams, eyes lit up like he was born to do something legendary. He talks a lot about what he's going to build, create, or change. It's all very exciting, in theory, but somehow, nothing ever really happens. Every time a project doesn't take off, there's an explanation. The timing was off, the partner wasn't the right fit, the world just doesn't get him yet. Maybe it's your old school friend. Maybe it's your younger brother, could be your boyfriend, or even your dad. Someone who, no matter how old they are, still acts like a boy, emotionally unpredictable, runs from anything that smells like commitment, always chasing freedom but ducking every form of real responsibility. And maybe, just maybe, part of you still hopes he'll change. Carl Jung had a name for this kind of man. He called it the Puer Aeternus, Latin for eternal boy. It's the psychological archetype of the man who refuses to grow up, the man who's always in transition, always getting ready to start, but never actually does. Now, here's the thing. The Puer is charming. His energy is magnetic. His ideas are fresh. He's spontaneous, creative, playful, and all of that makes him incredibly attractive, especially early on. But behind all that charm is a shadow. Because while the eternal boy dazzles, he doesn't deal. He struggles to cope with the real world. He wants life to fit his ideal, and when it doesn't, he escapes. He dreams of the perfect woman, the perfect job, the perfect life. But if things get real, if reality bites back, he runs. He gives up. He moves on and starts the cycle all over again. He thinks he's too special to live a mediocre life. But really, he's just terrified of failing, of facing disappointment, of growing up. If you've ever tried to help someone like this, you know how draining it is. You give advice and it goes nowhere. You offer support and it's wasted. You try to push, but deep down, they don't want to move. And somehow, you end up feeling like the problem, like you're asking for too much, like you're the one being difficult, just because you want them to act their age, because you want something real, something steady, something grounded. But here's the truth no one wants to say out loud. This man, the one you care about, is trapped. Trapped in a fantasy of freedom that's not freedom at all. It's a cage, a prison made of fear and immaturity. And if he doesn't wake up, if he doesn't face it, he'll grow old still waiting to start his life. This video, this isn't an attack, it's a mirror. If you're still watching, it's because something inside you recognizes this. Maybe you see it in someone you love, or maybe you see it in yourself. The story of the eternal boy doesn't have to end in paralysis, but it only begins to shift when we stop lying to ourselves and start facing the truth. So, let's go deeper. The Puer Aeternus isn't just some personality quirk. It's not a type. It's deeper than that. It's a powerful archetype, a force rooted in the unconscious minds of thousands of men. It often gets mistaken for being charismatic or free-spirited. People think he's just quirky, spontaneous, different. But underneath that shiny exterior is something serious, an instinctive refusal to grow up. Carl Jung saw this pattern in both real people and ancient myths. In those myths, the Puer is the golden child who never wants to leave the garden of childhood, the psychic womb of the mother, a place where everything is taken care of. Nothing is demanded, no responsibility, no pain. So he clings to the dream of some glorious tomorrow, a future that never comes. He believes he's destined, chosen, special. But in real life, he's stuck in this illusion of potential, and unable to take full control of his life. You've seen this before. Men who jump from job to job, claiming they're chasing purpose, but never stick to anything. Guys who start projects with fire in their eyes, but drop everything as soon as it gets hard. Men who fall in love like it's a movie, then ghost the moment a relationship requires maturity. They'll talk about freedom, self-awareness, spirituality, but they can't keep a promise. They forget deadlines, they avoid bills, they disappear without warning. It's not because they're not smart. They're often brilliant, insightful, creative, full of potential. But their power is stuck in the world of ideas. They don't want to land, to root themselves in the real world. They want love without loyalty, success without sacrifice, growth without responsibility. And when life doesn't match those fantasies, they blame everyone else, the system, society, their parents, you, never themselves. Jung believed the poor suffers from a broken relationship with time. He's always saying, not now. He's always waiting for the perfect moment, the right woman, the ideal project, a new phase. He lives in the future, never in today. And because of that, he never really lives. He survives, he drifts, he dreams. But those dreams weigh more and more over time. But here's the twist. The poor does have a gift. He's not just a burden. He's the inner flame of youth, the creative spark, the visionary spirit. He's where our imagination, our originality, our soul lives. The problem isn't that the eternal boy exists within the man. The problem is when the boy takes over. And that's what we're going to unpack next. Because when the poor's light dims, the shadow rises. And when that shadow leads the way, it doesn't just damage the man. It destroys everything around him. Let's talk about what happens when the charm wears off and the chaos begins. There's something magnetic about a man ruled by the Puer Aeternus. He walks into a room and lights it up. He speaks like a poet, dreams like an idealist, lives like time doesn't apply to him. No rules, no labels, no attachments. And yeah, that can be really attractive, especially in a world where everyone's stressed out, chasing schedules, living robotic lives. He seems like the antidote. But here's the trap. What looks like freedom? It's not freedom, it's avoidance. It's a mask to cover up what he's actually terrified of, reality. He's not free, he's running. Running from pain, from failure, from rejection, from disappointment, from time, from responsibility. He avoids making decisions, avoids facing consequences, avoids anything that would root him to something real. And every time he dodges commitment, it doesn't liberate him. It traps him deeper. You've seen it play out. He says he doesn't want a 9-to-5 because he's meant for more. Truth is, he's scared of structure, of consistency, of being held accountable. He says he doesn't want to settle down in a relationship. Claims it's because he values his freedom. Reality? He's afraid of being seen, truly seen, of being known, and still being expected to show up. He talks about how he hates rules, but what he really fears are boundaries. The freedom he shows the world is often just immaturity wrapped in poetry. He wants to stay unblemished, untouched by responsibility, drifting, floating, avoiding. But time doesn't play that game. Carl Jung once said that the poor lives suspended, like he's stuck between heaven and earth. He doesn't want to land, doesn't want to be grounded, doesn't want to build anything. But without roots, nothing grows. Without commitment, nothing solid survives. And without challenge, nothing transforms. True freedom isn't the absence of limits. It's the ability to choose wisely what deserves your limits, your time, your energy, your life. But the poor doesn't choose. He escapes. And in that escape, he doesn't just harm himself, he chips away at the people who love him. And this is the most painful part. At first, he's intoxicating, passionate, fun, electrifying. He's the guy who says, let's build something together. Let's dream big. Let's take on the world. But slowly, that brightness fades. What felt like magic starts feeling like absence. He forgets commitments, misses deadlines, avoids tough conversations. He's unreliable with money, changes his mind without warning, breaks promises, and always has a beautiful excuse for it. I'm just not ready. I don't want to force anything. I need to protect my peace. I need more time. But underneath those poetic lines is one word: fear. Fear of adulthood. Fear of mediocrity. Fear of being wrong. Fear of being ordinary. Fear of being responsible. And that fear, it turns into self-sabotage. He sabotages his work. He sabotages his dreams. He sabotages his relationships. He even sabotages his own potential. Romantic partners are left confused and hurt, loving a man who says all the right things but never actually shows up. He'll talk about a future, but never takes a single step toward it. Family members watch with frustration as he wastes his gifts and stays stuck in a loop of almost. Friends get tired, tired of encouraging someone who doesn't follow through, tired of watching him circle the same mountain year after year. But what's worse, he doesn't see it. He genuinely believes he's staying true to himself, that he's being authentic, that the problem is everyone else being too rigid, too boring, too judgmental. And slowly, he isolates. He pulls away from the very people who want to help him. He claims maturity is a trap. That commitment kills creativity. That structure is the enemy. But here's the truth. He's not protecting his essence. He's protecting his fear. Jung said, "We do not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." The darkness here, the shadow of the eternal boy, isn't something to reject or suppress. It has to be faced, fully. The problem is not that the boy exists. Every man has an inner boy. The problem is when that boy becomes the ruler of his life, when he calls the shots, when he refuses to share space with the grown man who knows how to build, how to commit, how to lead. And here's where it gets deeper, because the poor almost never walks alone. Behind nearly every man who refuses to grow up is a woman, a silent figure, often nurturing, sometimes overbearing, but always playing a subtle role in keeping him in a state of emotional childhood. Let's talk about her, the hidden figure feeding this archetype. In Jungian psychology, she's called the Great Mother. And when her influence becomes excessive, she doesn't nurture life. She devours it. Now, this Great Mother, she isn't always someone's actual mom. Sometimes she is, the real, loving, overprotective mother who never let her son fall, who did everything for him, picked him up every time, made sure he never had to struggle. It looks like love, and it is. But it's also dangerous, because without struggle, there's no growth. And without independence, there's no man. Sometimes this Great Mother shows up in disguise, a girlfriend, a wife, a grandmother, a female friend, someone who takes care of him emotionally, financially, even spiritually, someone who becomes a substitute for the real world, who cushions every fall, who makes sure he never has to face discomfort. She believes she's helping. She thinks she's being kind. But what's really happening is enabling. The eternal boy stays in boyhood because someone around him keeps treating him like a child. And this dynamic, it's comfortable, sure, but it's also toxic. Because while he's being taken care of, he has no reason to take charge, no reason to face the world, no reason to grow up. He stays in this weird limbo, where he expects the women in his life to fix everything he refuses to face, pay his bills, make the plans, handle the emotions, carry the relationship, and at the same time, he wants the freedom to disappear, to create, to drift. The woman, caught in this dynamic, begins to burn out. She thinks she's loving him, but what she's really doing is carrying him. And eventually, that gets heavy. Jung warned about this. The greatest tragedy is when the mother refuses to let the child be born. In plain terms, when the boy grows older but never becomes a man. This becomes even more intense in romantic relationships. He falls hard, fast, with intensity, idealizes the woman, puts her on a pedestal, wants her to heal him, fix him, love him unconditionally. He doesn't want a partner. He wants a mother in disguise. But the second the relationship asks for something real, for responsibility, for effort, for consistency, he panics. He pulls away. He ghosts. He blames her. Why? Because deep down, he never wanted to build anything. He wanted to feel something, the rush, the fantasy, the dream. But love, real love, isn't a fantasy. It's a choice, a practice, a commitment. And if he doesn't break this dynamic, if he doesn't sever the psychic umbilical cord, he'll stay stuck forever. An adult in age, a child in spirit. But cutting that cord, it hurts. It's grief. It's letting go of comfort. It's killing the illusion that someone will come save him. That pain, though, that's the beginning. That's the real birth of the man. There comes a moment, and maybe that moment is now, when the illusion starts to crack. The dreams that never came true start weighing heavy. The relationships that fell apart leave scars. The excitement starts to fade. The world begins to feel smaller, not bigger. And in that moment, the man who still lives under the spell of the eternal boy finally asks himself, How much longer am I going to live like I have all the time in the world? This is the crossroads, where the pain of not changing becomes bigger than the fear of changing. And no, the path to maturity isn't gentle. Jung described it clearly. Individuation, the process of becoming your true self, is like a psychic birth, and birth is messy, painful, bloody. It requires death, the death of fantasy, the death of illusion, the death of the boy who thought someone else would come save him. It means facing the brutal truth. Life doesn't wait. No one's coming. There's no perfect moment, no magical transformation, only choices and action. Growing up doesn't mean you kill your dreams. It means you build them. It means you stop using the child inside you as an excuse and start letting the man inside you lead. Maturity isn't some boring punishment. It's structure. It's direction. It's the thing that grounds your energy and gives it power. It's showing up even when you're tired. It's keeping your word even when it's inconvenient. It's being present in your relationship even after the honeymoon fades. It's staying focused when the inspiration's gone. It's choosing depth over dopamine. And here's the powerful secret most men never hear. The eternal boy doesn't have to die. He has to be integrated. His spark, his creativity, his passion, it doesn't go away. It becomes a tool in the hands of the grown man. When he's no longer in charge but guided, that's when he shines. That's when you stop dreaming and start building. And yes, it's hard. You'll feel lost, overwhelmed, unsure where to even begin. But that's why I created something to help. If this hit home for you, if you recognize these patterns in yourself or someone close, check out my ebook, Beyond the Shadow. It breaks down Jung's ideas in simple, practical steps you can apply now. Links in the pinned comment. And now, I want to hear from you. What part of this message hit you the hardest? Drop it in the comments. Be real. Be honest. Sometimes just writing it down is the first step toward change. And if you know someone stuck in this cycle, someone still living as if life hasn't started, share this video with them, not to shame them, but to wake them up. And don't stop here. The next video on the channel, it goes even deeper. It'll help you uncover the next layer of this transformation, the hidden part most men ignore, but absolutely need to face if they want real freedom. So, keep watching. It might hurt, but it will free you. And in the end, that's what matters. Real freedom.